What's up, guys? It is Brandon here with Steve Runs a Marathon Week 24, and right here is Steve. Say hi, Steve.
Hi.
There is Steve coming to us live from Chicago. Now, the last time, I feel like this should be that Batman intro where they'll be like, last time we checked in with our buddy Steve.
But better, because that movie got awful.
Yes. Last time we checked in with Steve, he was in lovely... What?
I think there's a big delay.
There's a little bit of a delay. It's not that bad. Your connection seems to be getting shitty. Sorry. Last time we checked in with Steve, he was in beautiful Sarasota, Florida, and now he is back in the less beautiful Chicago, Illinois. Back in class. Welcome to the third quarter of your master's degree there, Stefan.
Habadonk.
Yeah. So now that you've been out and running, because as you guys know, if you followed along, by the way, if you don't follow along with Steve Runs a Marathon series, please do. You can do so just by subscribing to the Gearist YouTube channel. Just go to, click actually that card right up there. There's a little button right up there. Click that link. It'll be a good way for you to check out the channel and subscribe and all that stuff. But last time, again, we checked in with Steve. He was, getting back into running after some injuries that were plaguing him during the last half of last year. So, Steve, would you like to tell us about the running on your spring break? Of course, one of the last videos we saw, the last video we saw prior to this one was you and the very tall Allie running in, I forget the name of the place you're running, on a trail run. I'll use quotey fingers on that because, come on. So how have your runs been since, in terms of just overall fitness runs, but also how your body's been reacting to it from your leg and things like that?
Yeah. I think it was called Sag Valley Trail System in just southwest of kind of downtown Chicago. And yeah, I understand the trail, the quotation marks for that. There was no blood drawn. At no point were we forging our own trail. So according to your standards, it was not trail running.
Wait, hold on. I need to interrupt here. Listen, the reason that Steve says this is because, and God, I wish I had a camera with me on that first run. The first time that Steve and I ever went for a run was at Button Rock. And it was only my second time there. I didn't really know exactly what I was getting into, and I quickly found out. But it was Steve's first ever trail run, and I led him astray, I feel like. And there was blood involved. There was rock climbing involved, neither of us being rock climbers. And there was
belaying. Belaying was involved.
There was certainly belaying. There was canine belaying involved. There was almost swimming involved. It got a little sketchy, but Steve made it out. So that is what he was referring to. And whenever he brings his butt back to Colorado, we will certainly revisit and go all the way around Button Rock if he can handle it, which I doubt because he's probably soft now. So,
well, I mean, I do have a scar on the back of my leg from that one boulder you hurled down the mountain at me. Like, that's legit.
Fair enough.
So running's been really good. Spring break I got a few nice runs in. The first one, Allie and I went for that 9-mile run at Sag Valley Trail System. We had an exam that morning at 8 a.m. We got breakfast and then we drove off and went on that nice run as kind of a celebratory thing to end the quarter. That was wonderful. Not the trail running again that I'm accustomed to as far as going out in Colorado, but a nice variation on just the down and back of asphalt along Lakeshore Trail that I'm used to. So trail running, but still, more as much trail as there really is to offer within like a 1 or 2 hour drive radius.
It's like path running.
It was like path running. So that was really great. In Florida, I got in a moderate run that ended up being closer to around 40 minutes. The humidity kind of got the best of me. Did a quicker run that was a 10-minute warm-up, and then cycles of 20 seconds at a full-out sprint paired with 10 seconds at a rest. Those 10 seconds may have grown a little bit to 20 or 30 seconds the last few times.
For those of you that may recognize that hell on earth of that workout, that was a Tabata interval, or Tabata, depending on who you ask, Tabata interval workout. Steve didn't have a lot of time for some reason or something like that. Wanted to get in a good solid workout, but didn't want to be out in the heat and humidity that long. So that's why the Tabata workout.
That was good. And then
no, I'm sorry. Don't tell me that was good. Now you're bullshitting our audience, Steve.
Well, it was a good workout. My teeth ached. Was.
Hold on. Let me pull up the text message that I got from you.
Please read the text.
Hold on. You keep talking. I'll figure it out.
And then yesterday, my last day of spring break, I went out for a 75-minute run, which kind of was the crown jewel of my spring break running and really my rehabilitation up until now, because I was able to keep a really nice low heart rate. It stayed in the lower to mid zone 3 for me, which meant that I was running around 10 to 10 minute and 30-second miles, a much slower tempo, which traditionally has caused me a lot of ankle and leg pain in the past. I did great. So I ran 9 minutes at that speed, and then 1 minute at a much faster speed toward the end of those cycles. I was getting around the 6.5, 6 minute mile pace. But no ankle pain yesterday, no ankle pain today, and that's 75 minutes on asphalt with a lot lower heart rate, again, which has traditionally been what has aggravated my Achilles tendonitis, as true or false as that term is. Right. So that's super encouraging, having the 10K race coming up in a week and a half, and then, getting back more and more into the marathon training.
Good. And Steve's text messages from that Tabata intervals, I get nothing. No text preceding this. It literally, and I'm going to paraphrase for all the young children that clearly watch our channel, F you and that awful effing workout. I did 12 seconds, 10 seconds for the first 4, and then when my teeth, in all caps, started hurting, I had to do 20-20 and then maybe 20-30 for the last one. Legit, my effing teeth were hurting. And then one of the final texts goes, "We just became less good friends. I thought you should know."
I stand by those text messages.
I'm sure you do. Tabata's honestly, I mean, depending, of course, on what you're doing, it's all about. Because one of the things that I think you said to me, or somebody recently said to me, is that, these intervals or the Tabatas were on a hill of sorts. And I said, well, that's awesome, but it doesn't, if you're doing any sort of interval right. And I guess this goes across whether it's a Tabata workout or it is just a more traditional interval workout where you're doing like 5x7s or something like that. Where you run it shouldn't matter, right? It's all about you're going 100% for that situation,
Yeah. I guess I felt for me that running, just because of where I was running, I crossed this giant bridge that goes from Sarasota to Lido Key, and I'd say 7 of those 8 cycles were uphill, not super steep, but uphill enough. And I think sprinting uphill, I just it felt more muscular. It felt like more absolutely lifty, and not just like if I was going flat or downhill, once you start cruising at your sprint, like you have a little bit of momentum and you're just kind of going despite pushing yourself. For me, it goes that way.
Right.
It's like there's nothing but like resistance.
You're definitely right in that. And that's one of the, I think I asked you if you had access to a track and you just simply didn't. But if you do that again, which you probably will, I mean, it's a great speed week workout. It's nice and short. That's the advantage. A real Tabata workout the actual workout only takes about 4 minutes. If you're doing the 8 bys, then there's of course a warm up and you should certainly cool down to some degree. But that can be like 10 minutes each. I mean, it's a really quick and easy workout. So in a 4-minute workout, just the 4 minutes part of that, you could get roughly the equivalent of an hour steady state run, which is saying something. I mean, it's pretty impressive.
The calories you burn just in the sheer amount of blood you're expelling at the end.
There's all the vomiting.
Tears, the eyes are just running from everywhere, you know.
That's right. Your lunch isn't absorbed because you just puke it up.
Just
If
throw
you
it
puke, you're
up.
doing it right. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
So we're working on, and this is one of the things I'm not going to do too much behind the scenes on this because there's some communication issues going on. But we're also working on getting Steve some new shoes from Mizuno. There are some new things that we're working on getting for him that he's kind of excited about. I'm kind of excited to get him too, and we just got to work out the communication from the Mizuno side. So because he's got this 10Ks in what, 2 weeks, 3 weeks?
No, it's in like 10 days.
That's what I meant.
It's a week from Saturday, the Chicago Perfect 10.
Right. So this week will most likely, so today's Tuesday. This will go up on Wednesday when all you lovely people hear it and see it. And then after that, or this week, we'll be doing a couple more speed things just to kind of get in. It's kind of a compressed training thing because, you know, when you talked about this, we were coming off this injury thing. I didn't want to throw speed work at you. And it was like, when you signed up, it was already only like what, 5 or 6 weeks away, not even.
Yeah,
you know?
I think like five weeks away about.
Yeah, so that's not optimal for planning. That's not optimal for planning anything. But I think it's still going to be a really cool race for you, especially since the last time that you raced, and only the second time you've ever raced, if I'm not mistaken, first being Boulder, was that Turkey Trot 10K, and I told you to take it out and stay in zone 2 and kind of ramp it up from there. But I feel like you're more of a racer than that now, and I feel like you probably were then. I was just being cautious. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with this race.
It will be interesting to see what happens with this.
Well, because we talked about it, doing it like a step-up run, right? Where you do start out a little harder, but then you kind of break off some intervals for yourself so you don't, let those people that are going to blow out of the gate, go out with them a little bit, kind of try to hang with them, because if you've trained right, which you haven't necessarily trained right, no fault of your own, just because of the injury cycle and things like that, you are going to, you're probably going to hit a point where they're going to start falling off the back and you're going to keep going.
Ideally, yeah. I mean,
that's the plan. So I wanted to talk to you about a couple of gear things. First, you asked me for some sunglasses. Now I have 2 pairs. I only have the 1 pair here with me, and I'm thinking that these are probably the ones I'm going to send. This is the Pivlock, whatever. Pivlock.
Those are sunglasses?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's a big case with 3 lenses and all this kind of stuff. So there's 3 different lenses in this thing.
Okay.
I've worn these. These are not new. These are glasses that I've worn for a while. I like them a lot, but I just got the updated version of this, so I'm going to send you the old ones if you want them. It's really up to you.
I mean, yeah, of course.
So they're little. I got to clean them too, but anyway, this is what they look like. They are definitely running glasses or cycling glasses, but that's what you asked for. I mean, how are you feeling about
people
this?
run with them, right?
Oh yeah.
Well then, that's fine.
And they come with 3 lenses. So they come with this lens that you see here, which is the mirrored and polarized photochromatic lens, not photochromic, but anyway. And then this rose-colored lens, and then this clear-ish colored lens.
Yeah, I'll probably use the ones that you have in right now.
Yeah, and the great thing about these glasses is, I don't think I've ever even worn these other lenses. No, that's not true. I have at least once. Is that to swap out the lenses, all you do is take and fold up the arm of the glass, and then you just pop it back in and lock it down, and that's
nice.
it.
Cool.
Yeah, so they're great, and they're sweat resistant and all that kind of stuff. So these are going to be.
What does sweat resistant mean?
Well, they don't. It's a type of. I think it's called not hydrophobic, but as they get sweatier, the rubber becomes stickier.
Oh, okay.
So as opposed to it getting slicker and then falling off your face, that's how it goes. So there'll be this thing in there too. But then I have right over here the updated version of this same glass. It's just a little.
If it's easier for you, I mean, if you have an emotional attachment to those, you could always just.
I don't. I could show you what the other ones look like if you want to.
I mean, your words say you don't, but your
no.
You do.
Hold on. Oh, but then I have another pair of glasses that is that are different than either of these that I could show you upstairs. Here's the updated little box. These are from Smith. I don't know if I mentioned that. I haven't opened this yet. This is the first time opening.
These are the new ones?
These are the new ones.
Okay.
Yeah, they're not. I mean, they're similar. They still have the plastic on the stems and all that.
Oh, yeah. I feel like that would go better with my skin tone. The other ones really look good with yours.
Your skin tone.
So I feel like maybe I should get those.
I feel like that's probably not going to happen.
Yeah, so we're in agreement. Let's send those. Okay.
We're in agreement. We are in agreement that I'll keep these.
Look at that. I'll keep them. I'll keep them.
Would you like me to go get? I can show you the other pair that I'm thinking of.
You can, or I trust your judgment. I mean, I'm really like.
I'll send both of them. Doesn't matter.
Okay. Thanks. Hey, I wanted to tell you something else too that I found in regards to this whole running technique thing for myself.
Do it. Do it.
So I've been really focusing on the keeping a little bit of natural lean going forward, which I think is pretty habitual now, leaning whole body forward, not just kind of hunching over forward while I go.
From the ankles versus from the hips.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And that kind of has helped to promote keeping my feet under my body a little bit more, not kind of crossing over the way I think I was originally.
Definitely.
But another thing that I've really found, especially in the last like week or two, is when I feel you've got mail. When I do start to feel a little bit anywhere in that lower part of my leg. Again, it's not the kind of tendonitis thing. It's just maybe like, oh, it's starting to get a little tight or anything like that. I find that if I think of kind of sitting into my legs more, so when I hit the ground, my leg's a little more bent. It's a little more it almost feels seated, and I feel like I'm pushing off from that. Whichever leg is pushing off, it's like pushing off from that oblique. So I'm really emphasizing my quad. Mm-hmm. It feels a lot more muscular, a lot more leggy, but the pain instantly goes away and my legs feel great at the end. It's just not as long strides. It's not as up as I would have thought originally.
Well, you know, there's a great book that I would encourage anybody watching this, or you, if you want to pick it up. I don't know. I think it's on Amazon, called Anatomy for Runners by Jay Dicharry, Dicharry, I think. Okay. Anatomy for Runners. It'll be, just Google that, it'll show up. But great book, and it talks about all these different positions, and one of those positions is being kind of in the back seat a little bit. And one of the things that you'll notice a lot, especially if you look, Pete Larson, a guy that runs the blog Run Blogger, if you look at some of the slow motion videos he's done from Boston marathons and various races throughout the years, as well as a number of other like really super elite athletes running at super slow motion, like 1,000 frames a second or something like this, what you'll notice is that it's not really like that very much. The amount of energy they're using is very eccentric as opposed to concentric. What you're talking about, as you know, is using more concentric muscular action. But you can't, I mean, it's tough to argue with it keeping you injury-free to a
yeah, and I feel like what I'm using is pushing off from like a much higher place than I would have thought. Like I said, I feel like I like push off from that side of the abs almost. You know what I mean?
I do. And what they talk about. No, I do. Wrong. Well, generally speaking, form though, you can actually flip the script, and it's kind of a physiological thing rather than an actual muscular thing. But it ends up working out the same. Is that while you're running next time, when you feel like you need to get into that place, rather than thinking about pushing off in that, I don't mean to say forceful, but forceful sense, rather than that, think about your lifting from the hip flexor. Think about actively lifting from that area and making the action, instead of a push, be a pull from the lower abdominal and from the hip flexor. Do you know what I'm saying? You can still be in that position, but you're just using the abdominals.
A little later in the movement.
Right, because quads, the problem with it in a sprint or something, there's zero problem with it, right? But when I say sprint, I mean 1,000 meters or shorter. If you get into a marathon and you do that, it will not happen. Your quads will, especially now Chicago is pretty flat, but if there are any hills of any sort, your quads will blow up like crazy, especially on downhills.
But still though, then it's focusing on the part of the movement that's like more ab and a little bit higher based in your body.
Yeah, and again, I would encourage you. I'll try to send you. I'll try to actually post, guys. If anybody's watching this, check down in the description of this video. I'll try to put some links to some really cool videos, or maybe I'll just throw a couple up here while I talk. A couple of slow motion videos that you can watch, and you can really get a good sense of people's form, and how, yes, you're going to see people heel striking, but notice they don't go into the load phase until their foot is under their body. In other words, there's no real weight going in the heel. It's more of a proprioceptive thing. But yeah, it's very interesting to watch those things and to get to see how elite level runners run, because they're just so efficient and they've been doing it their entire lives. And then to take that, I mean, Steve, you and I don't think people knew this actually, because somebody commented on one of the videos on your last video, you were singing about Greg Mizwicki or whatever at that park bench. Patrick Mizwicki.
It's a Whitney Houston song, but I couldn't think of which one.
It's the Ballad of Patrick Mizwicki. So Steve and I are both singers. What's that?
I think it was The Greatest Love of All. I don't know. Some say it's a gift.
That's true. Well, so for those of you that don't know, both Steve and I are singers. I mean, we both went to school for that. I was a professional opera singer for 10 years. And one of the
I was for like 4 years because I'm much younger.
It's okay. Looks can be deceiving. So one of the things that was very interesting to me is I got this kind of backward advice at some point. I got this advice before getting to college. It was like, don't listen to people too much, to other people sing too much, because what you'll wind up doing is trying to emulate their sound rather than making your own sound. And that's fine. I understand the utility of that. But at the same time, what I came to realize was much more effective was actually listening to other people plenty, because they're doing it right and they're on these great recordings for a very good reason. You listen to Pavarotti and you have this amazing breath control and of course the amazing tone that no one else has, but you get to listen to all these different things and learn from those things. And I think that running is actually very similar. Now you want to make sure, of course, you're not watching, like, anybody watching this probably is not going to turn around and watch Usain Bolt in slow motion, because it doesn't matter. That guy runs for 10 seconds, 20 seconds maybe, and that's it. You know, we're not doing that. We're talking about running for 3-4 hours. You know, it's a different story, but still you can learn a lot from watching different people. So in fact, if you guys watching have any slow motion videos that you'd like to share with us, please leave it down in the comments. That would be really awesome to hear. So watch some slow motion people run, Steve.
Now, I had a question for you. You mentioned that book, The Anatomy
of Runners, Anatomy for Runners. Yeah.
Is there a movie version? Did someone make a movie? So
like Cliff's Notes.
I'm not really good at reading.
No, there's not a movie version. But there is. Do you know what there is? There's a movie. There's a show that is being cast right now called The Runner, and there's a runner and a chaser, and you could win $1 million if you. Anybody can apply. Anybody can apply to be on the show.
How much do you have to run a lot?
Well, I would assume at some point there's going to be a lot of running involved.
10 hours? I mean.
No, I don't know. I didn't read too much into it, but Matt Damon is involved in it. His company, his production company, and Matt Damon or Matthew McConaughey, maybe both of them. Who knows?
Okay.
Somebody named Matthew. Matt Damon. Get it? From Team America World Police.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
A little before my time, but
I doubt that.
No.
You're not that much younger than I am, Steve. Anyway, so yeah, what are you looking forward to for the race yourself? Do you have any expectations? I mean, I guess we'll talk to you. We'll see you talking one more time before that race, but still.
Yeah. So my expectation for the last race, which was a little misguided, I think, was I really wanted to hit 8-minute miles. That is still not my expectation, especially since I've had these couple months of rehabilitation with this injury. What I'm really looking forward to is, I've only ever run 2 other races. Both have been 10Ks. The first one I just went out and ran. The second one I had a very, very structured approach to it. So I'm really looking forward to having structure to my strategy for running it and having a plan, but also having the freedom to kind of modify as I go and as I feel a little bit, to allow myself to, if I feel this time I can give a little more at mile 3 or mile 4, allowing myself to do that.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm excited for that. I'm excited to have both the training I've done and then also that paired with a little bit of the competitor in me.
Right. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I mean, I think it's going to be, I'm excited to see what you're going to do, because I honestly think that you can probably, I think that you can go out and I think do really, really well and not, I think that 8 minutes a mile is not that far outside the realm of possibility. I mean, look, just again, like doing a speed workout like you did, and then I'm going to have some speed workouts this week, but doing things like that, you'd be amazed at how quickly the results of those show up. And I think that paired with the adrenaline is going to put you out a lot quicker than you might think, I think.
Yeah, I just need to make sure that adrenaline doesn't, usually like at the beginning of the race, like it's, my adrenal glands are working overtime. Like as soon as we start, like I'm going, so I think tempering that just a little bit for that first mile will be a challenge.
Well, I think that part of what you can do there, and I mean, it's all about your strategy, right? What do you want to do with it? And so I think that part of that could easily be you going out and just sticking with somebody, like pick somebody and hang with them and see what happens. I mean, you never know exactly what's going to happen. You might be good to go. It might surprise you just how much you're able to get out there and hang with whoever you see in front of you and turn that into something that is really quite effective. And because it's kind of like riding somebody's wheel in biking, even though, in biking, obviously there's more drafting, but even in this, it's like, it's that physiological thing where you're watching somebody and you're getting to see what they're doing and you're kind of letting them work for you by proxy, sort of. I mean, that's a weird way to say it, but you know what I mean?
Yeah. Kind of mirroring that a little bit and following suit. Yeah. So I'm really looking forward to that. I think it'll be a nice, it's amazing now that 6 miles is like, oh, it's just 6 miles. Like I remember when I used to be like, oh, I ran 4 miles, like dying on the ground.
Well,
I'm like, oh, 6 is so short.
Well, there's I told you about this guy Sean, that Sean follows us on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and all these things. And Sean is from Florida, Orlando, and came here, and kudos to he brought his friend April, sorry. I just had a brain fart, who has actually been in Colorado Springs for a few weeks because she's in the Air Force. And they came up, and the longest she'd ever run was like 5 miles. And of course, he had run an ultra before, something like that. But at altitude, he's coming literally from sea level to literally not sea level. And so, but I took him on the Heil Ranch, which you never got to run while you were here, that loop, and they both made it all the way around and really kicked some ass. It was impressive. And it's amazing what just really hammering down on things can do, even when you might go, oh, 6 miles, nah. But going 6 miles at 7:30 a mile, you might go, oh, I don't know. But I really think that you're going to be able to do more than you think.
Well, okay, I think 7:30 a mile is
optimistic.
Pretty aggressive of a hope, but
oh, get out of here.
But eight would be like a nice, or anywhere in the 8 proximity. I think I still, like last time, like I said, was between 8:20 and 8:30 miles. So anywhere around 8, I would be really happy with that, especially considering that I didn't get in weeks and weeks of training for this.
Yeah, that's fair. All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and bust out of here. We're going to do this. I said this last time we were going to do it more regularly. We are really going to do it more regularly. I can't say the word regularly fast without sounding like I've had 17 beers. But thank you, Steve, for joining me.
Thanks for allowing me to join you in this casual conversation.
Technically, shouldn't I be joining you? Shouldn't you be thanking me? What the hell, man?
I mean, if you sent me, if I got the new sunglasses, I would thank you. But...
I see how it works.
Yeah.
Gotcha. No, it's not going to happen.
Well,
you know that song by that band in Pretty Woman? It's called "I'm the King of Wishful Thinking."
Pretty Woman. What?
Shut it up. Shut it up. Yes.
I think that might have been
I don't know. My parents told me about it.
Before me.
My parents told me about it. They were like, Pretty Woman is this great movie. It's an oldie. Steve would know what it is. That's what they said.
That's what I call you. Oldie Brandon.
Well, that's so funny. That's all we do is insult each other. When Steve's not telling me to die because I gave him a hard time.
There's all those memes on Instagram that are like, if you don't insult them constantly, are they even your best friend?
That's fair. It's called ball busting. It's okay. It's all good.
Why that one?
What's that?
That's why that one is so close to your face.
Oh, look at you. It's just a microphone. Don't be jealous.
I'm not. You need to get that checked out if it's up.
Okay. All right. So, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and click stop the broadcast. Don't go anywhere, Esteban.
Okay.
Stefano Ulyanov.
Esteban.
Thanks, guys. Thank you guys so much for joining us. I appreciate it. We will talk to you soon. If you got any questions about this or any of our reviews or anything like that, leave them down in the comment section below. And as always, follow us on all the social media outlets, which you can see right here on my right, your left, or Steve's right, your left. And that Instagram button down there and that Strava button, that's going to be Steve's Strava and Steve's Instagram instead of the Gearist Instagram and my Strava. So check those things out whenever you get a chance. Oh, and what are you saying, Steve?
No, I was just pointing to something if you had something for me to point to.
They can't see you pointing, though.
Can you see me pointing now?
Now?
No? Now?
Now.
I don't know.
Every time I talk and I get large, that's when they're seeing me.
I don't know what happens. I'm just here for the ride.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, guys, and we will see you next time.